Hello and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, home of Tottenham past, present and exciting future under Ange Postecoglou. And yes, we're nearly there. We're nearly back. We're nearly at Spurs time tomorrow. This time tomorrow evening, Tequila, will you and me will be sitting on the top of our houses like jumping for joy because Tottenham are back on the telly.
About time, innit? About time.
We had enough of South. You've had enough of Southgate ball.
Oh, God,
I had enough of John O'Shea ball. We want a bit of Ange ball, and he's back tomorrow. Yes, and we are bringing you the watch along tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I think Tequila's going to join us. I hope you are. Join us tomorrow night for the watch along, Tequila.
If I can find a way to watch it, yeah. Otherwise, I'm still might. Even if I can't, I still might just.
And tomorrow night afterwards, we're premiering our fan show, so you get to come in straight after the game. If you watched it, have your say. Or have your say on what you think's happening so far. Only Patreon members can, but if you're not a Patreon member, don't worry. You can sign up through Discord. You're put into there's two different rooms. If you're a Patreon member, you get on first, and then the non-Patreon members will come on afterwards. All the links, all the ways to join are in the description, so please do so as we fight the good battle against YouTube. And we may just go Patreon all the way. We're having the discussion today, so more on that probably at the end of the show. But Tequila, how are you? How are you this afternoon? Are you sort of getting ready now? You're getting excited for the Premier League? We're nearly here. We're nearly at Premier League.
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy the Euros are over. Don't get me wrong. The tournament it was okay. The tournament was fine. But I have had enough of England for a while. Like. I'm ready to take it an easy 6 months off England and get back to me early next year. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it now. We'll talk about Southgate obviously later on, but I've had my fill of international football. I want the club football back, and that's what we're going to get soon. So roll on tomorrow, and let's go. Yeah,
we are going to do a little pre-record, me and Tequila, as well about the game tomorrow night. What our hopes are, what we want to see. So please watch out for that. We're going out tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock with pre-recording it today for you guys. So we'll be going out tomorrow morning. Me and Tequila are doing a few pre-records after the stream to keep you guys up to date with all things Tottenham and Premier League transfer news, because Tequila's new show, Transfer Tippets, premieres tonight at 10 o'clock. So please tune in for that, guys. It is Tequila's show. He's hosting. I'm co-hosting. And we've got a banger of a first show for you.
We're gonna have a laugh at all the transfers for the clubs, most of which, as you know, probably won't happen. But that's the point.
Yeah, but some of them might, Tequila. So there's a lot to go through on the Premier League, and we'll get our thoughts on that as well, guys. Let's see who's welcome. We've got this fella called Tequila 316. I don't know who this fella is. He keeps coming in. Yes. He is. I keep banning him. He keeps coming back. He says, please become a member on our Patreon. Well, at least he's kind enough to say that to us. Members start as low as €3. Please support us while we fight against YouTube to get our channel membership back. Please do. It helps us, and it helps us grow, and it helps us keep doing what we love doing, which is bringing you new content. This season, you're not just going to get Tottenham content. You're going to get European football content. You're going to get international content over on the other channel. We're going to follow Ireland, England. We're going to follow teams in the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We're going to follow Tottenham on here, and everything non-Tottenham's over there. So we got a lot of stuff. So if you're a Patreon member, you're a Patreon member on both channels, and you get a hell of a lot of content. We are bringing you the best football content on YouTube by far. We're going to push the boat out this season, all between us and our YouTube partners, Full-Time Sports Network, MUFC, Spotlight, and don't forget the name of the new people that joined us as well. We, as a whole organisation, are going to bring you the very best of Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, Scottish League, European League, and everything to do with football. You will get it here first. So please join us. Pick up and you get to join us there, because we are going to have fan shows on the European Champions League nights as well, guys. So please watch out for that. There is the link. We're going to be busy this season, Tequila, by the sounds of it.
A lot to cover.
Big up to Daniel. Orange have made the full signing of the window today. What are Spurs doing? She says, laughing, running around on the floor, laughing her face off. Like, she's laughing that hard. She can't get up. Her husband's looking at her thinking, Daniela, you've gone mad. She went, yeah, I'm just laughing at Tottenham. Interested, monitoring, admiring, tracking FC.
Yeah, bless her. She's listing all the news stories that are always something I've put creeping next. That was my favourite one.
Yeah. Nothing's happened because of the Euros, Daniela. Because of the people in the lower leagues, they can get deals done because their players are not at the Euros.
Yeah.
The Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, nobody's done any deals because of the European Championship. So, but what were we told by our source this morning, Tequila? It's gone into hyperdrive.
Yeah.
So
we knew it was going to, didn't we? We knew it was going to be Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, we're going to start today, Daniela. We started last night. We start today. Big up to Mr. Wayne Bonner.
Hey, Wayne.
Hello. Is it you you're looking for? Or is it me you're looking for? Can never get that right in that song. Anyway, there goes my addition for X Factor down the pan. One and all. He meant to put how, but it's come up to ho.
Ho, I see. His mind's on something else. See, when he says ho and he says 18-year-olds, that's a bit scary, Wayne. Hope your mind's in the right place, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but never mind. What are 18-year-olds are we signing then instead of quality? We're doing both. We are doing both, Wayne, so don't worry. I'm like you, Wayne. I was on Dave's last night, and I was saying to Dave, we need youngsters plus experience. But I'm so excited about this season, Tequila. We've got a team I think is going to really surprise a few people in the Premier League. And this is my fourth season of Ange Ball. I'm a massive Celtic fan, so I knew what he'd done up there.
Well, I haven't seen him as much as you do, but what I did do, and I remember doing this early last year, is I had a look at his records everywhere. And do you know what I found? Just using a little bit of logic, his second seasons are immense. Wherever he's been, his second seasons. So it'll be interesting to see if it follows suit. That doesn't mean I think we're going to win the title, but top four, that's me personally.
Look, we are going to do a pre-Premier League preview show, and we're going to have a Man United fan, we're going to have a Chelsea fan on, we're going to have an Arsenal fan on, we're going to have an Aston Villa fan on, even going to have Chris if he wants to come on for the Liverpool angle. And
why not?
That. And I think Tottenham, look, we might not win the league. Look, I think the quad's on until you can't win the quad, and then the treble's on.
Bless you.
So you can't win the treble, and then the double's on.
Bless
then
you.
When you can't win the double, then you win what you left. I think Tottenham can win something very major this season. I really do think so.
And you know what? You're 100% allowed to feel that way, and that is part of what being a fan is about. And we're all got different ideas. Yeah, different ways of being fans. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean.
Yeah. No, it doesn't
we can all
mean
still
that...
get along, guys. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing that I want to say. We can all still get along.
Looking at you, I just want to go and play that game on you can get an Android. What do you call it?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. I just want to go and play Candy Crush.
Well, I think it's meant to be in the description. I meant to be some kind of a grape, I think, or beetroot. I can't remember what it's actually called.
If you were a grape, my missus will start eating you. She loves grapes.
Yeah, and I've put the crown on him, so I think I'm like a king mintberry crush. That's what I might call him.
Yeah. I just worry about your well-being, Tequila. I just worry about you.
Yeah, I don't know. I
just worry about you. You've gone up.
If it makes people laugh, then that's it. That's what I'm.
Tottenham has sent you loopy. That's what's happened.
I wish there was a cockerel, dude. There is no cockerel. I have looked many times.
I've just turned off my other monitor, which I need, which is quite clever.
Joe's saying here it's
yeah, I'm back now. Sorry,
how did you pronounce that?
No, I hadn't. Joe has said, I'm not tuned in for a while, not tuned in for a while. Why we're making blow people out of the water moves, do we think? I think we are. I really do think we are. There's a few there's a few that's going to happen.
You know what I want, Joe? I want a top of the range quality number 10.
Yeah.
Number
just go through the rest of the comments there for a minute to kill. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Sorry.
Okay, where are we up to?
We're up to Joe there.
Is tequila being an euphemism? Yeah. Yes, Dragons Game much. Excellent. Good evening, Dermo. Good evening, talking Ubergein. See, I don't recognize that word. Ubergein. That's what it sounds like. Danielle saying, how about Haunting? Yeah, Haunting's not bad. The creeping one was just like my favorite. I think I only saw it used once, the creeping one, but that was just my favorite one, the creeping one. It's just like, who came up? So we're creeping towards players. That was great. But Haunting's not bad. Yeah. Stalking. Yep. Stalking's not a bad one.
To be fair, Haunting is not bad at all. We've got Daniela Stalking. We've got Haunting Stalking.
Not bad.
Daniela goes, can we sign Ezzy now then based on that? Well, I've got a bit on Ezzy coming up, Daniela. So I think there's a few complications, but I think it will get over the line. We got Chris. Chris is saying tequila is a what today?
I wasn't sure either. That some of the people in the chat are actually explain how it's pronounced. Yeah. Ubergine.
That just sounds too rude. You can get that wrong in so many ways.
See, is that Ubergine?
Gregson said. Probably Ubergine, probably.
Ubergine or Ubergine?
Ubergine.
Billie Jean is not my lover. That's what it sounds like. Thinking.
Yeah, no, he's saying Genie. Ange was talking up, but good to see the youth win a 93 Junior Euros. I think that may be his angle this season. I think so too. Big up to Chris. Positive Dermo and full flow already with a laughing emoji.
Of course he is. Bless him.
Of course I am. Of course I am. If fans think we need young players signings, then that really does say a lot about our youth academy. It's look, we'll go into it. That's a question. Actually, I'm going to hold that. I will come back to that actually because that's a question. You see what Colin's put in the chat. Hello.
Hello.
Have you finished?
There you go. I was about to say, get him on here, cheeky bastard.
Have you finished laughing at us yet?
Yeah, you and your aubergine.
Aubergine.
That could go so.
At least one of us knows how to pronounce it. Well done.
I don't know what you were saying. Greg Senot says top 4 FA Cup all legs in the European basket, please. I agree with you.
I'd like us to really go for the Europa League. You know, I would. I think we've got a good chance in that. We're one of the biggest teams, isn't it?
I think we do too. I do. We are going to do a show about the Europa League and how it's going to work.
Oh God, do we have to? That's more complicated. That's so complicated.
This is why we brought Colin on board. He's the one with the degrees in logic and
knock yourself out, Colin.
He does all the boards and everything, so we'll be getting all the.
You explain how the European Cups work this year.
Anyway, I think it'd be easier to talk about quantum physics.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Brian Maguire said, Brian Maguire said, great show, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Joe, it's an aubergine, I thought. There you go.
Hey, look, I aim to please. I'll be whatever fantasy you guys want. That sounds weird.
Tequila, just shut up. Don't say any more, Tequila. Just quit while you're ahead. All right. Today's a good day. Southgate's gone. I'm glad about. Hopefully, we can get a winner in, which is a foreign match. We are going to talk about Southgate at the end. Brian says, anyone heard about Spurs signing a youngster at Southampton? I think he's a 23-year-old defender. I haven't heard anything yet from my source, but I have asked questions, so we're waiting.
Can I just say, Brian, do you think 20? Here's an interesting, just small question: is 23-year-old a youngster? I don't think it is. I think when you hit 23, that's kind of when you should become like a.
That's a fair point.
Like 21 and younger is what I class as a youngster. But if you're 23,
what do you
should
think,
be kind of,
Colin?
you know.
That's a good point, Tequila, actually.
Now, when you're 23, I think, you're classed as a senior player, really. Yeah. I think 21, 20, 19, 18, there, you're younger,
Now, what we're going to talk about first is Ange. What Ange wants, Ange gets. And here is the first thing. Will Ange get what he wants? Ange is after a defender, a midfielder, a winger, and a striker. Now, we all know look, I'll start with you, Tequila, first, right? Is that the right areas we should be looking at the moment? And I think it is, to be fair.
The defender, I don't know. See, if you mean a centre half, then I'm not sure, because I was quite impressed with Dragusin during the Euros. I thought he did quite well. So I think we've got our first two choices, which we know that's Van der Ven and Romero. We've got Dragusin as backup, and you could say maybe we need a fourth. But the fourth is either going to have to be probably somebody who's okay with sitting on the bench, or a youngster. Do you know what I mean? A younger one. Maybe we keep Phillips this year as that fourth choice. So if it means a centre half, then no, I don't think we do need another centre half, really. But if you mean a fullback, then we need another left back, I think.
I mean, I know there is 4 players Tottenham are in talks with, are dealing with at the moment. Now, I know my source know who they are, but he cannot tell me because we've had to sign NDAs and everything. So we cannot announce before we get permission to announce these things. So there is 4 players that we are going to buy this summer, and they are a defender, a midfielder, a winger, and a striker. So in reverse order, I'll give one position to each of you. So I'll start with you, Colin. Striker, who do you think Spurs should go after? Who do you think they are going after this summer for a striker?
See, it's difficult. I mean, the Euros have put a lot of strikers in the shop window, so it makes it slightly difficult. I want to say Jimenez. I know you've been linked with him for a while, and I think Jimenez would actually be the right kind of player to play up top for Tottenham. He's a little bit of a, what's it called, jack of all trades kind of thing. He can score. He's quite pacey, but he's able to play, and transition with other players as well. So I think that'd be a good one for you.
Did he play Mexico, isn't he? Did he play Copa America?
I'm not sure whether he did play or not, to be fair.
No, I don't think he did.
Okay.
Look, I quite like Jimenez personally, or I would have loved Ollie Watkins, but there's no way Ollie Watkins is going to leave Aston Villa now. Yeah. No chance. You're looking at, then you got Ivan Toney, but Ivan Toney's got Premier League experience. I suppose that is one of the good things about Ivan Toney, but you get his baggage. So what do you think Ange would look for? Look, for myself, Tequila, I think he will look for somebody that's Premier League ready.
I think if it's a choice between Jimenez and Toney, I think you've got to go with Toney, just because there's no kind of he's coming from the Dutch league, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
And the Dutch league, let's be fair, the Dutch league, as Com knows very well, because half his teams come from the Dutch league, it's very hit and miss. For every Anthony, there's what's the defender, the short defender who's done really well for you, Com? Remind me, what's his name? The defender you got.
Martinez.
That's it, Martinez. So Martinez has done well, whereas Anthony, as Con will tell you, was no. Awful. So it's it's a bit with Toney. You know that he can score goals in the Premiership. So if it's just a flat choice out of those two, I probably would lean towards Toney. Got to be honest.
Yeah, do you know what? I have my reservations on Toney. A, because of what he went through, and B, I don't think he's a great striker, to be honest. Premier League ready or not Premier League, I think he was good in his younger days. I don't think he's been that great at Brentford since he came back. Well, maybe he wasn't match fit. Maybe he was, because he was out for so long. Is it hard to get back into it in the middle of a season?
He didn't have the best season last year, did he? Really?
No.
Obviously, he only played half of it.
So, but you also got Velez, who was out on loan last season. So, do you start using him? Because you can't use Sonny up front. That doesn't work. Werner up front doesn't work. So
then Velez is I would say Velez is third choice. He's third choice. If assuming we keep Richarlison, then Velez is third choice. That's how it looks.
Yeah, but Richarlison's not going to get you 20, 25 goals a season.
He's lucky
not
if
that
he
type of striker.
No, he's lucky if he gets 10, to be honest.
Yeah, so where do you go? You're going to have to splash the cash. And how much is the striker worth this summer? 100, 80, 90, 100 million? Will get you a decent 20 to 25 a season striker. And it's the problem that we didn't do it last season when we sold Harry Kane. We didn't plan for life after Kane. I think that's where the problem has laid, because they thought, oh, we got Richarlison, we got
They
Son.
thought Richarlison was going to be able to replace Kane. I feel that way. We know that was never going to happen, but
no,
that's That's
you see, the thing is, like, you're saying that you would prefer Tony, but if you're going to go and spend, because let's be honest, they're going to want 50, 60 million for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, then you might as well look at a younger option and go for Alexander Isak.
I agree, but I mean, I was just saying, just out of those two, Colm, I wasn't saying like Tony wouldn't be my first choice either, but it's just out of those two. I think I'd probably go with Tony. That's all.
Dragon D Nut says not Jimenez, please. He's rubbish. Greg says it. Greg Selner agrees with you. Tequila don't need another centre back.
Yeah,
I use Philip. Yeah, I agree with you as well.
Yeah.
Gerard, I'm a bit worried about him. We keep saying I like Gary Brook, but I think Gary Brook's a bit old now to come back and play for us. Brian said he'd go for Tony. If we don't finish, I'm going to star these, Paul, about the Europa League. He's got them all. He's put it all in for us, bless him. And I'm also starring the England stuff as well, guys. So don't you put messages, they're going to come up at the end. So I am starring them. I quite like the Bournemouth geezer at the Prem Proven English quota. Oh, what's his name? The striker at...
Do you mean Solanke?
Solanke. Yeah. See, I go for Wilson up at Newcastle, or not Wilson, the other striker at Newcastle.
Isaac would be amazing, but do you know how much he'll cost? He'll cost 100 million. They'll want 100 million for him.
But he's Premier League proven. That's the thing.
Yeah, but we should have got him before he went to Newcastle. People had heard about him before. I'd heard about him before he went to Newcastle.
Yeah, so did I.
But you need to remember, right? You're going on about, I want Premier League proven. I want Premier League proven. Look at the history. There's plenty of players that have come in that aren't Premier League proven, that have gone on and done absolutely amazing. Sergio Aguero, non-Premier League proven. Carlos Tevez, when he first appeared on the scene. There's Dwight lot of players. Dwight, this is what I mean. There's a lot of players. I mean, if you're going to spend 50 million, not 50, let's say there's 100 million there for Isaac. Let's not joke about it. He's a quality player. It's fantastic. But if you can go and get somebody that's a similar quality to Isaac from a foreign league such as, the Bundesliga or maybe even, the Eredivisie for less price, wouldn't you want to do that? Because then you've got more to spend elsewhere.
The thing is, Colm, I agree with you, but we've got such a bad track record. Like, who was that? Was it Janssen we got from the Dutch league? Do you remember, Dermo?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so we've gotten these players before, but to try to find somebody to be Kane's understudy. Obviously, Kane's not there now, but the point is that we have tried getting these kind of players from these leagues in, and more often than not, it backfires on us. The guy from who is it? Who was the guy from Spain? I'm not good with the names, Dermo. Who was
Lorente, yeah. He was
there was another one. There's another one who had a great record in Spain. We got him. We got him. We were all really excited. I remember at the time, and he ended up being another dud.
You look at Torres. Look at Torres. He went from Liverpool to Chelsea. It was absolutely a flop at Chelsea. So look, I understand where Colm's coming from. He's making a good point that you can, but I just think you're taking the chance on buying a European player because he may not fit the Premier League, because the Premier League is a different league altogether, say to La Liga or Serie out of the Bundesliga, because they play at a slower pace, where the Premier League is up and at 'em sort of a league. It's a very fast league.
Right, but then you're demoralising other leagues. This is what I don't understand, because, like, obviously, I know you're saying you want Premier League proven, but what actually is Premier League proven? You know, what is that? Because they've played a season or two in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think
but surely if you can get, right, let's say, for instance, then, like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, you have an offer put in for Ivan Toney at £60 million, but then somebody like Pablo Dybala comes available, who's top level quality proven, international level quality proven, and Champions League level quality proven. Are you still going to pick Ivan Toney over a Dybala?
No,
who's never played. No, but Dybala's never played in the Premier League.
I get your point. I mean? I do get your point. I do get your point. I think you make a very good argument for that, but I just think we've been burnt so many times at Tottenham.
Every club has. Yeah. Every club has.
You know,
we went out. Man United went out and bought Bebe.
Soldado, that's who I meant. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's how I meant. Soldado.
You know, Man United went out and spent money on Bebe, who I don't know how he was a footballer, because
we're looking at another winger, a midfielder, and a defender. Well, for your quote, we don't need another defender because we've got Phillips there anyhow. Anyway, midfielder, Eze is on the. We've got news about Eze, so that could be the midfield sorted out. Winger wise, who would you want as a winger?
This French lad, I think he's meant to be a winger. This Duro.
Yeah.
I think he's meant to be a winger. So it looks like we actually are in for him. Whether or not we get him or not, who knows? But he looks to be an option. I haven't seen much of him in real life, and I'll go by the computer games. It might sound silly, but these are people who obviously research further than I have, and he's meant to be a very hot prospect. So,
yeah.
But that goes back to what Daniela was asking earlier on. I think it was Daniela about... that player, who I think would be a good signing, would be another one of these youngsters that she was talking about. So I mean, I'm okay with that. I think that is the players we have to go for to have a chance.
Yeah, you have to spend money to get quality. It's as simple as that. You're going to have to. I mean, if you're at the top end of a league and you're at the top end, you want to win the major trophies, you have to spend. You can't spend.
People aren't agreeing with you. Come about.
It's like
waiting for comments to come through. It's fine.
It's like if you want decent food, you wouldn't go to Aldi and Lidl. You go to Tesco's or something like that to get decent food, mind you.
Tesco's.
Well, you get my point. You go to Marks and Spencer's. I get your point. So it's no point spending big money in a player that you know it's not going to be any good. You got to spend to get quality, and we have to spend. We just don't spend, so we have to spend.
Demo, as long as if the scouts have gone back to Ange and said, "Look, this is your blood, this is your guy, Jimenez is your guy," then you have to go with it. I just hope the scouts are doing a better job nowadays, which I think they are.
Yeah,
than they were under what's his face when we got Ndombele.
Mm.
You have to have a little bit of faith, I suppose, in the scouting network and Ange also. Ange isn't. We're all hoping Ange isn't a yes man. I don't think he is. But I hope he's got a proper say in that. If they say this is what we're going to give you, you can turn around and veto it. I hope he has vetoing power. I hope that he does.
I think he does. We've got Mr. M said Richie crap, Johnson crap, Werner crap. Sort of agree with the first one. Totally don't agree with the second one. And
Demo, you like BJ, don't you?
Yeah. We'll get rid of him for 5 minutes. He's just being downright rude.
There's always what do you expect?
Brendan Johnson, what do you think I meant?
Yeah, well, when you said the words you said, I
meant Brendan Johnson. What goes through your dirty mind, Mo, is up to you. I said Brendan Johnson. That's BJ.
Wouldn't know, would you? And Werner, I don't think Werner's crap either, but there you go. I've asked the question how I've heard are in talks with Chelsea. Chelsea, is that Chelsea? Is it?
Chiesa.
I've asked the question, so I'm waiting to hear back. Mr. Ram says he wants. Do you want to read that one out there first? Column, sorry. First one.
Calafiori in, Tony in, Eze in, get it done.
Yeah. That's so true. Newcastle said to Arsenal about Isaac. They've quoted 200 million. He's not worth 200 million.
No player's worth 200 million.
No.
Mbappe apparently is worth 200 million.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No person in this world is worth that much.
No, not even Mbappe. Big up to Jamie Wooten as well. It says, "Hi up, lads. I'm back in England. It's cold. Get me back to Germany." Well, we were doing a show the other night. He actually messaged from the England-Dutch game.
Yeah.
Which I found that it was quite impressive when we were doing the watch along. So let us know how you got on Germany.
I hope you enjoyed yourself. Despite the result, I hope you enjoyed yourself, mate.
Did you get to the final? Let us know. We have Dragon D Nuts said Tony over Diab Babler every day. Paul says Premier League proven as someone who is used to the physicality and playing top teams every week. Other leagues have two or three top teams. Premier League has 10 teams that can finish. This is my point. That's what I meant by Premier League proven. That's
right. Okay,
exactly.
But then there's other leagues outside of the top leagues that, shall we say, that have a harder league than the Premier League. The Championship is a harder league than the Premier League.
Yeah, that's
because they're
true.
a lot more equal and it's a lot more physical.
Yeah.
So why are we not signing Championship strikers?
Yeah. There's a lot of comments coming in, so I think I'm at the bottom now. Tottenham are set to give up on Gerrard Braithwaite this summer due to the eye-watering £80 million price tag placed on the defender by the Toffees. Firstly, guys, he's not worth 80 million.
Of course he's not.
Secondly, I don't know why Tottenham want another defender because they have got Rudu and they have got Phillips as well. So that's two defenders to cover Van der Ven and Romero. So Tequila, look, where in defence should we be looking at? Wing backs, a number 6 to sit in front of the.
We actually probably need, assuming that Emerson ends up going, which obviously he hasn't yet, but it makes sense for him to go because he doesn't fit the system. So assuming he goes, then we actually need two fullbacks. We need a backup for Ndogi, and we need a backup for Porro.
Yeah.
So we actually need. You can say Ben Davies is the backup. No, he's not. He's the third choice. You know what I mean? That's what I don't mind if Davies stays, but he's the third choice.
Yeah.
He's a third choice as a centre back and as a left back, right? He's a third choice. You don't want him to be just the backup for Ndogi because it's too much of a talent drop off. With all due respect to Davis, so we need a proper left back, and we really need two. We need a left back and we need a right back if Emerson goes. If we're not going to get a right back, then you might as well keep Emerson. He's not the worst player in the world. So
the latest on Emerson was last night, and it was. I can give you the latest on him now. If I can find it. He had agreed to personal terms with AC Milan, so he could be going out the door. And also, I've just got this in from our source as well. He said homegrown Tottenham player Walker Peters couldn't nail down a starting role at Tottenham before leaving Southampton in 2020. That's the reason why he left. Walker Peters has impressed for the Saints and is vital in their promotion back to the Premier League this past season. So I don't think he want to leave Southampton if he's number one there. Why would you want to leave?
Is he a right back or is he a right back, Dermo, or is he a centre half? He's a right back, isn't he?
He's a right back, yeah. Well, look, our source is right, Colin, that if he couldn't nail down the starting role in Tottenham before leaving Southampton, he's gone to Southampton. He's now got himself as a number one fullback at that club. But he was vital. He had a great season last season and their promotion back to the Premier League. Why would you want to leave? Seriously, you wouldn't want to leave, would you?
Well, I don't know. It depends what your ambition is, I suppose. You know, he's gone away. It didn't work out when it first started at Spurs. He's gone away, learned his trade a little bit more. Yeah, in a very competitive league. The Championship is a very competitive league. Maybe he's got a point to prove now, and maybe he doesn't want to be in a team that could possibly go down next season. You know, maybe he wants to actually fight for a team that's going to be challenging instead of, you know, fighting that relegation battle. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see it happening. But I mean, there's another player that you guys have forgot that's still on your books as well. You've still got Serge Reguilon on your books.
Yeah, I actually thought about that the other day.
We could loan him to you guys again if you want.
You might be.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind him being involved in the squad this season. He's a good defender. He is a very good defender. He didn't do a lot wrong when he was playing.
Well, I mean, looking at it from obviously because I saw him play last season myself. He's competent. That's what I'll say. He's competent.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Enough. You want a defender that will do a job for you. You don't like the likes of Dave Sanchez or Eric Dyer or Ben Davis, who you know they've got a mistake in them, or Emerson. They've got a mistake in them. You want somebody who's going to go in there, do a job for you if your main back four isn't playing. And I think Reguilón can be that sort of player as a backup. He'll get his minutes. There's plenty of competition to play in this season. He will get his minutes. And I think he'd be a competent, as Colm says, a competent defender just to do a job. That's what you want. So you know yourself as well as I do, Tequila, the likes of Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, Sanchez. We were pulling our hair out with these guys. Emerson.
I don't think Reguilón's as bad as those. No, I think he's a. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind Reguilón staying as long as Reguilón's okay to be a backup. But he hasn't been okay to be a backup in the past. Yeah. That would be my only thing. He's not going to start over in Doggy, is he? So
no.
Is he going to be okay with that? I don't think he is. That's the thing.
We bought Jazz Spence and look where he's gone. Anyway, this young man, Desiree Duru, will decide which club he prefers to join in the next days. I'm hearing today. It's not decided yet, though. PSG first proposal today, and we're pushing talks again. Bayern first bid got rejected by Rennes, but they are planning to return and try again too. We're in a three-way fight for this guy, Colm. Look, he's a very good player. Look, when you got PSG and you got La Liga, you got League One, and you got the La Liga or the Bundesliga coming into it, and the Premier League. What is your thoughts as a footballer? Do you go for the club, or do you look at the league, or what? I mean, to be fair, PSG and Bayern Munich we're in the third league of clubs, if you know what I mean. We come third. There's no doubt about that. But the Premier League is the best league in Europe, if not the world. So if you want to prove yourself, surely you come to the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, obviously, I'd like to hear Tequila's view on this as well.
Yeah.
But this all depends on the mindset and the attitude of the player.
Yeah.
If he's just going to win trophies or something like this, is no disrespect to Spurs at all, but Paris Saint-Germain's your pick. Or, if he's money incented as well, Paris Saint-Germain's your pick, because they can just throw loads of money at you. If you want a bit more of a competitive league, but you want guaranteeing that you're going to win, although last season was a bit of a shambles for him, Bayern is your pick. If you want really competitive, where you're going to be fighting for every single point, Spurs is your pick. So it all depends on the attitude of the player.
And I think also I agree with what Com says. Also, and also how confident a lad is he. So what he might be thinking is which team am I most likely to play for? So is he going to look at Tottenham and see what his competition is? He's probably not going to start over Sonny, right? But you take the rest out, I could see him easily coming in, and I know you like him, Dermo, but I can see him coming in and playing over Brendan Johnson and over Timo Werner quite easily.
Which I wouldn't have a problem with.
Yeah. So, but he might look at Bayern Munich, and I'm not 100% sure who their wingers are, but he might see them as being a much harder roadblock to him to break in. That's why it depends on how confident he feels about himself.
Well, you've got Coleman and who's the other winner at Bayern Munich? And
Zan.
Yeah. So you got them at Bayern Munich. So is he going to get ahead of them?
Also, you've got to take into account that he's a French lad, and does he want to leave the country? If he wants to stay in France, and that's his home, that's where he's lived all his life. If he's some people are like that. Some people don't want to leave their country. Some people just want to stay where they are.
I agree with Colm. I think if you're not ambitious, then PSG is your club. If you're slightly ambitious, then Bayern Munich's your club. If you're really ambitious and you want to test yourself and get the best, then the Premier League, Tottenham's your choice. So it's all about his attitude. And there's plenty of players have left other countries to go to the Premier League test themselves. And it's all about, is this young lad does he want to test himself against the best?
Well, look at Mbappe, Dermo. He's only now leaving France, but he spent most of all of his career in the French league. He's only now decided to leave. So maybe he thinks he's gonna, maybe his foreign club is the next club after this one. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he goes PSG, then goes to a foreign club. Yeah,
but to be fair, La Liga is only a 3-team league, maybe a 4-team league. The Premier League, I know the Premier League's been a 1-team league, but any Premier League can beat any Premier League on a given day. It's a really competitive league. So I think when you look at the other leagues, I think you've got to look at the league itself as well. How competitive is the league? Am I going to win? If your goal is just to win trophies, then you go to PSG because they win the league every year and get into the Champions League every year.
Also, Bayern Munich. We had this conversation a little bit the other day, and the agent as well might play a big role. And if it's just about the dollar signs, then I'm imagining PSG probably would pay him the most out of those three. I would have thought.
So out of 10, this is what we'd like to do with these transfers. Out of 10, Colin, out of 10, where do you think it? Do you think he'll come to Spurs out of 10?
So this is a difficult one. I'm going to sit middle at Rody. I'll say about a 5 out of 10 because there's too many factors to actually say what's actually going to happen at the moment. Yeah. Until he comes out and says something, we don't really know.
No, and the thing is, Tequila, what you're going with this? Yeah or no?
I'll go with a 4. I think this has got Bayern Munich written all over it. To be honest,
I'm actually going to go for a 7. Because I think he's going to look at the other 2 leagues and look at Tottenham and look at what Ange's doing at Spurs and think, do you know what? I want to be a part of that. And I don't think the Champions League is a bigger pull now as it used to be. Because I think the Premier League is a pull within itself as a league. And Tottenham's got its own pull by its own name. It's like Manchester United, it's like Liverpool, it's like Arsenal, Chelsea.
You want to know what I think could be an impacting factor, and it might sound weird, but I'm trying to look at it from he's 22, is he? Is that how old he is? 22?
Yeah, 22.
I'm trying to look at it from a 22-year-old, and believe it or not, Vincent Kompany being the manager in Munich might actually work in their favour because there's a good chance that he saw Vincent Kompany growing up. Probably watched Vincent Kompany growing up as being this world-class defender for City. So, you might, I think that could play a factor, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm not on the Vincent Kompany thing, Colin. Do you think that's going to be a bigger pull? Do you think Harry Kane's going to enjoy working under him this summer, this season?
Boris says he's 19. Okay,
yeah,
well, he's
19.
Okay, 19.
Do you think Harry Kane's going to enjoy working under Kompany?
They're nearly the same age, Samo.
I don't know. I think Harry Kane's a professional, and it won't let him bother him, even if he's got a younger manager than him. I don't think he'll care as long as he's out there playing football. Harry Kane will be happy.
Do you think he'll end up back at Spurs though?
No. And if you do take him back at Spurs, if you take Harry Kane back at Spurs as a player, more fool you because he's washed.
Do you not think? Can you not see him calm a little bit like Teddy Sheringham coming back when he's like 35 or something? And playing like a bit role. Maybe he's attacking midfielder.
If you took him back, as a player coach, but more on the coaching side than the actual playing side, because I think Spurs have been better since Harry Kane's left. I'm not going to lie. I think you've been way better since Harry Kane's left because you've got more freedom and control. But if you brought him back as a player coach and only played him when you had to, but had him working with your strikers, I think that'd be fantastic. But to actually sign him as a full-time player, I think that'd be a big mistake.
It'd be more as a substitute, not to start. I mean, just somebody to bring on, like I said, like it did with Sheringham.
I know some fans wouldn't like him just being sat on the bench.
Yeah. Do you think he would want to come back and break the Premier League record? I mean, that's the one record he does want to break. So he may come back and want to break that. But if he wins anything, then he's won. He's done well. I could see him winning stuff at Bayern and then retiring at Bayern, personally, in my own opinion.
I think he'll go into something after football. I think he will go into coaching or something like that. And like I said, if he goes back to Spurs as an attacking striker coach, massive credit to you. But no, I won't bring him back as a player.
No. Anyway, Eze, that was the past. Let's talk about the future. Eze is on Tottenham's transfer list this summer. However, the deal is complicated due to terms of his release clause. Look, these release clauses are a pain in the ass, in my opinion. But they're there, and they're there for a reason, for the club to get the best deal for the club, the selling club, so they can get the best compensation, basically, for the player that's leaving. I think this deal will get over the line eventually. I don't think it'll be done before the teams go away on their preseason tour. I think this will be a whole window deal, but I can see him being at Tottenham before the end of the window. Colin, Tequila, where are you when this was take the first stab at this?
Can I just ask you, Dermo, why is it complicated? Surely, is it just when you mean complicated, you mean if the payments are going to be staggered or all at once? Is that where the complications lie?
I don't know fully why it's complicated, but if I'm really being honest, I think it has something to do with the structure. Maybe I could be wrong, but I'm waiting about.
I think
from my source
don't quote me on it, but I think with the release clauses, they've got to be paid all at once, and I think maybe that could be the sticking point. But that being said, though, I mean, I don't know. We didn't spend all of the Kane money last year, so there's an argument that we should still have 40 million from that sale to spend, although maybe that deal was structured over so many years. I think that we should have the money to pay it all at once to get him. I don't see with the amount of money we bring in why it can't be done. I'm not going to go into the Levy thing. I'm not going to have that argument tonight. I'm not dying on that hill tonight, but I would have thought that we could afford it, but for whatever reason, it looks like we're reluctant to. I'm not going to say we're not going to get him, but obviously we're reluctant to pay it all.
Yeah, look, I think the deal will be done. I think it's just it is, isn't it, Colin? These big deals take time. They're not a deal you can do overnight, and it complicated. Could it do with what Boris is saying? Where is it saying?
Upfront fee.
Upfront fee. Do you think that could be the problem, or do you think Palace are playing a bit of hardball here? Because I know I've waiting for news on that from a source, but what are you hearing?
Well, from what I know, Eze's release clause is 60 million plus 8 million in add-ons. So 68 million basically is his release clause. I don't know what else is in his clauses because they might have hidden stuff, in these release clauses. It's not just a case of, in some instances anyway, it's not just a case of, right, this is how much it's going to cost. There is other things underlaying that as well, like, how many goals. If he goes on and wins a trophy, for instance, you've got to pay this much as part of it, all this kind of stuff. Or it could be simply because, like you said, Palace are playing hardball. Because I was just trying to see what Michael Elise's was, because Michael Elise last year had a very similar thing going off with his release clause, and it was a struggle for Chelsea when they were willing to pay the 60 odd million or whatever it was. But yeah, I've not heard what exactly it is, but yeah, maybe it is just due to the fact that it's 68 million pretty much to get him out. And
I got to ask, do you think he's worth that much? I don't doubt the guy's a good player, but is he worth 68, nearly 70 million?
I don't think so.
It's the clubs.
It's a lot.
It's compensation, isn't it? The clubs look for compensation for selling on their asset, isn't it? Really?
I think that's what's holding it up as well. I think Spurs probably see the money being asked as a bit too high, and especially in like one lump sum, because that's a big portion of a budget gone. 60, 70 millions. I mean, it's what, 1/3 of your budget gone.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a better idea to find a cheaper alternative.
It's not the kind of deal. Again, I'm not gonna go on the Levy out. I'm not gonna get involved tonight. But it isn't the kind of deal you normally see Daniel Levy go for. Like Maddison, how much was Maddison? 35, 40
but
million?
Daniel Levy is not getting involved in this, Tequila. This is what that
but
gets me.
I know, but he's still got to say yes to he's still the money man, isn't he? So
no, it's down to the Paratici, it's down to Lang, it's down to Ange, it's down to the other network people. Yeah, maybe Levy does have a say in it, but Ange has the final say. It's not down to Levy, and this is a very much a different structure to what we had before at Tottenham. And people need to get their heads around that. It's a different structure. And
he's still the money man, Dermo.
Yeah, he spent a lot last summer, Tequila.
Yeah, but not on one. But not on one player like that. Not on one.
The way
player.
it's going to work is Daniel Levy will have final say. You know, Ange will say to him, "I want this player," but Daniel Levy, like what Joe just said there, Daniel Levy signs the checks. He pays the money, so he does have the final say. You know, whether or not Ange is going to fight him on all of this, we don't know what happens behind closed doors. But I just want to say as well, because Paul's put it in the chat. It's what I was thinking of. You know, as a 70 million, I think he's probably worth about 40 million. But you know, his English tax, that's another 30 million slapped on top. So yeah, it's a good comment that.
I think he's in the same ballpark as
Colin.
I think he's in the same ballpark as Maddison. I'm not saying he's worse than Maddison. I don't. He's probably slightly better. But if you look, I think he's in a similar ballpark to Maddison. And we got Maddison for 35 or 40. I know Leicester went down, but you know, it's still. I know that they were relegated when we got him, but we're paying nearly double what we paid for Maddison.
Well, look, you know, transfers have gone mad the last couple of seasons. Players, transfers valuations have gone bigger for some reason, for whatever. And I think it's the football finance has gone mad as well. I mean, Eze's probably not worth 68 million. It's worth 35, 40 million. It's still a lot of money at the end of the day. It's still a lot of money for one player, but you don't. I mean, it's all inflation, isn't it? Inflation just puts all prices up in every way, in every form, in every sort of thing we deal with in life. And I think football's not exempt from that either.
If Ange wants him and is willing to spend, as Com says, a third of a budget, for argument's sake, let's say we've got 200 million, just for argument's sake. If he thinks that he's worth spending a third of his budget on that one player, then if that's what Ange wants, then I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
If Ange values him that much and sees him as a pivotal thing, then you have to trust that, you know, Ange knows more about football than I'll ever know. So I'll go with that. But still.
The other thing you think of as well is like Neil Shafton has put it in there as well. You might be spending this stupid amounts of money on Eze, but what about Neto? You're linked with Neto.
Yeah,
he's cheaper.
And he's more injury prone, isn't he? Though that's
Wolves
the thing.
Have to sell, which means you can drive their price down because they need to sell players.
Yeah, Palace don't need to sell players.
Not they just sold Elise, didn't they? So.
Yeah, but Palace don't need. Palace are not. I mean, am I right to say that Wolves column are in financial problems? Am I right to say that?
Yeah, I mean they are. They've got a bit of FFP issues, which is why they're going to be offloading players. They've already offloaded one, but that's not going to be enough. I think Neto, you know, I'm going to say about 35, 40 million for Neto will get that deal done.
If you could get Neto for 30 million, I think I'd buy it for 30. I don't know if I'd go.
I'd get him for 30.
He also says, I think the interest is in Tony more than Eze. And do you think Eze's more for smokescreen for Tony?
No.
60 plus DJ sitting there. He's like, he sat down with his mouth wide open, and his missus looked at him and think, "What's wrong with you, DJ?" And he can't speak because he's in shock. We've got Boris that have a tiny bit of FFP issues, but not as big as the main 7 clubs with the major issues. What have used loopholes. Now, this is one of them. Chelsea, Spurs have not given up on Gallagher. This has been going since January. This transfer.
Yeah,
I wish to just get it one way or the other done.
Dermo, it's longer than that, Prof. We were linked with him last year.
I know.
Last summer.
Now, Chelsea are in financial. How can I put it politely?
Turmoil.
Do.
Thank you. Turmoil sounds better. Cheers. Thanks, Colin. Now, Chelsea have. It was put in the chat that Chelsea have sold their women's side to one of their other companies to get themselves out the crap they're in. But Chelsea still need to sell players. Now, Spurs are not giving up on Gallagher. I would love to see Gallagher a player. I like him as a player. I think he done well at Crystal Palace. I think he's played well at Chelsea last season, to be fair to him, under difficult circumstances. And I think he would be an asset at Tottenham. He can play in the number 6 role. He can play in central midfield, and also he can play as a cam. So, do you know what I mean? He can play in 2 or 3 different positions, which we need players at. Personally, for me, I think this deal will get done. When, I don't know. But don't forget, he's been at the Euros too. So, he's probably needs to go away on holiday, come back, and then they will get going on it. Tequila, and then I go to you, Colin. Tequila, Gallagher, yay or nay?
I think he's a decent player. Ange seems to really love him, if that's to be believed. But to be honest with you, it's like I don't know if we've even made a bid yet. It's all we've been following him for so long. It's one of those things where either crap or get off the pot. I was going to say another word then.
Yeah.
Let's either do it or not. And if it's a no, then can we just please move on? There are other fish in the sea. You know what I mean?
Well, so. I need to stop you there, Tequila, because we've got a little bit of this.
Oh,
okay.
Like yeah.
Sort it out.
This is CNN.
This is no, we're not CNN.
Okay.
Colin has not departed Manchester United. He's not become a Spurs fan, so don't worry, guys. It's not
yet. We're working on him.
No.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid have start talks for Toney. That is the breaking news. Spurs interest. Spurs target Ivan Toney has begun talks with Atletico Madrid. So he could be off to Spain. So Toney could be off the radar completely. But we will give you more news on that once we get more news. But that's the breaking news. Atletico Madrid have started talks with Toney's representatives with a move from Brentford to Madrid.
They're a big club. They're a big club, there, Atletico. They're quite an attractive club.
Yeah, they are. Colin Gallagher.
Gollum. We're getting Gollum, are we?
Yeah, Gallagher. What's your thoughts on Gallagher? Would you like him at United?
No, I think it's a waste. I don't see the point in signing Gallagher. I'm not even talking from a Man United perspective here. I'm talking from a Spurs perspective. I don't see the point in signing him. I don't think he's good enough. He's just going to be a bench warmer and come on, because he's not as good as Maddison. Maddison's twice the player Gallagher is.
Yeah, but Gallagher can play as a number 6 as well and centre midfield. He can play in a few different positions, though.
Okay, but who have you got that currently plays there?
Well, Højbjerg's going. We
Yeah,
don't know
Højbjerg's going.
we don't know if Bentancur is staying or going, so we do need a number 6.
Well, I've watched a lot of Gallagher. You know, we've done a lot of watch-alongs. I've seen the Euros and all this.
Yeah.
No, Gallagher's not the guy that people think he is. I think you're wasting your money. I don't think he is capable of taking Spurs to the next level that they need to be at. You know,
do you know what I think he gets a lot of I thought he played well at Crystal Palace. I thought he had a very good season at Palace when he was on loan there, and also at Chelsea.
That's more his level.
Yeah, but he didn't have an easy time at Chelsea. It wasn't easier on many players at Chelsea because of the situation. But I think Gallagher is a better player. Under Ange, he will bring him onto another level.
No.
So
he hasn't got the capability to do that. Not Ange. Ange's got the capability to pull everybody out. But I think we've seen the best of Gallagher already. And it isn't massively impressive.
Yeah. Boris says the Yardley take Gallagher for 20 million. No more, to be honest. Fair enough. Gary Becks, big up, so he says.
Big up, Gary. I am a talking avocados, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
We need a DM more than Gallagher. Well, he can play in that position, but I know we've got a player here. Neil Safton says, I like Gray over Gallagher. Just needs games in the Premier League or during our cup competitions. Now that
do you think it's true though, mate?
Blow up everywhere.
That's a really good point by Neil. Do you think that now we've got Gray, we chose Gray over Gallagher?
Possibly, but I got this. Spurs are not giving up Gallagher, so Ange probably still wants him. I mean, there was another good point here as well. Mikey Moore in a number 6 role. That's a very good shout for DJ Samuel. That's an extremely good shout. I think Mikey Moore is a great talent and a great youngster. I think that's a very good shout. We've got Neil Shafton. Gallagher did well. I think he meant at the Euros. Go for Kulu at B. Now that's a very good point. Now it only means he means Kuleveski, or is it Kuleveski he's on about?
No,
Maybe that is on it. Yeah,
I think
maybe
he means
so.
another player. Go at Cola.
Yeah,
It's BMG.
yeah. So look, it's going to be interesting. Transfer window isn't over yet, so look, there's a long way to go. There's a lot. As Colin and you were saying, and I have said, that the transfer window is only going to heat up now since the Euros are finished. So we have to see what happens. But Tottenham are in for players. Tottenham are in for 4 players. That's on the thumbnail, and that's what's going to happen. And the 4 players are a defender, a midfielder, a winger, and an attacker. So 4 new players will be coming into Spurs before the end of the window. So Tottenham are going to be looking in a good place. Just very quickly before we end up, we have had the announcement today that Gareth Southgate has quit as England manager. Colin has been doing the ribbon dance all day. Tequila's just,
I've been skinny dipping in that river behind me.
Look, it's not the time to talk about Southgate's achievements or what he's done for England, but where do you go from here? You have got a big game on the 7th of September against Ireland in Dublin. You're going to have to get a manager in before then. I don't think you can start that Nations League qualification sequence without a full-time manager. So who do you think will become the next England manager? And I'll start with you, Colin.
Oh, God.
Or if you want me to go to Tequila, give you time to think, I will do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, Tequila, who do you think will become the new England manager?
My pick would have been Jose Mourinho. I realise that that's not an option anymore, but that would have been my pick. So that being said, if we're going to go English, I do think probably Eddie Howe is the best option, but I'm not sure I'd want to leave Newcastle for England, to be brutally honest with you. So we'd have to. He'd take some convincing, I think. And then you've got Graham Potter, who I don't want Graham Potter. I've got nothing against him. He did well at Brighton, but as far as I'm concerned, he showed to me that dealing with big players, or maybe players with big egos, that he didn't actually do that well. And I think it's fair to say that lots of the England, I'm not saying that they're the worst when it comes, that they're going to cause trouble, but you are dealing with a lot of big time players with a lot of big egos. So I don't know if his skill set actually is going to be able to handle those kind of egos. So I don't actually think Potter's a good choice. I don't think he has the experience of dealing with the big names, and the little experience he did have with the big names, he was very bad at it. That's how I see it.
If you think Charlton are bigger than Tottenham, you're more of an idiot than I think you are.
Charlton bigger than...
That's all I wanted to say. Gary, Poch, or more likely Carsley. Colin, Lee Carsley was linked to the Ireland job. He's England under 21. Pochettino's out of work. A lot of people in the chat are saying Howe or Pep. Paul says Poch. For me, not a fan of Potter. Imagine Pep. Neil says, imagine Pep using these players in his system. England should go and get Zidane.
Dude, this Pep stuff to England, I don't understand why he would even consider it.
It can happen. He's already stated he wants to manage England. I think he has said it somewhere.
Has he actually said that? If he said it, then I'll take it back a little bit. If he's actually said it.
I don't know whether he said it as a joke or not, but yeah, he did say it. This was a while ago, to be fair.
Okay.
But do you know what? I would happily take Poch at England. I'd take Carsley as well. Or if we can't get any of them. Who's a traitor?
Carsley, not a traitor.
Oh, okay. While Dermo sucks his thumb and cries into his bottle, I'll carry on. You know who else? Actually, I'd take Tuchel.
You said that to me today, actually.
I did. I would take Tuchel.
You did, yeah. And I actually, my words to you when you said that is a good tournament manager. He does get teams to finals and win stuff. I mean, Gary's just gone. I think Gary's
Yeah, that would be amazing, but I don't think that would.
No, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. He's.
Did you see a German manager taking over the England team? Seriously,
yeah, of course.
Mind you, we had an English man take over the Ireland job, and that was no problem. So I suppose,
as far as I'm aware, Klopp has basically ruled himself out. You know, he's wanting a break from football, and that's what he's doing. So, because I was speaking to somebody about it, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying, "Oh, it's only tournament football. He only has to work so many times, you know, a year, and so he'll have his break." It's like, well, no, not technically, because you've got to go to games and you've got to keep an eye on your players to, you know, and all this. So, yeah, okay, you might only actually run and coach your team once, you know, every couple of months, but you're constantly working. So.
Yeah, Paul says the reason he said Poch was because he spent 2 seasons in the Premier League. He spent a lot longer, of course, at Tottenham as well recently. Knows the players and the league, not Tuchel for me, another defensive manager. Well, look, whoever you get, I think you're going to want an attacking manager.
Poch is very acclimatized to England. You know, he lives in, you know, so after he came over to manage Southampton and Spurs, he stayed in London, didn't he? So he still lives in London.
I think Neil makes a very good point, and this is where I think this point we're going to lead this conversation. Is Neil says they need a manager who is a manager, not someone who plays favourites. Southgate never took any risk to see these players really thrive. Kane should have been sat where he was obviously not 70%. He makes a very good point. You want a manager who's a manager. So if I can nail you both on who do you think become the next England manager, Tequila, who do you think will be who will the FA appoint?
Just very quickly, Gary O'Neill is a very good shout, but I think it's a bit too early for him. But a very good shout in the future.
Very good shout.
Who do I think it will be? I do think it will probably be Potter because it's the easiest thing to do. Not what I want, but I can see it.
Right, so you're going for Potter. Colin, who are you going for?
I'm going for Pochettino.
Do you know what? I'd probably have to agree with you. I think Pochettino.
I'd rather have Pochettino.
Well, he's not in the job either, is he? Pochettino's not in the job. So.
No, he's not.
No. We just have to barrage our friend that works within the FA for information.
Well, at least now he'll be able to cover England games, won't he, don't I?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're not giving away any names, but we can barrage him with messages now.
They'll get Sir Alex Ferguson to come out of retirement and manage England.
And we'll just go through that comments and then we'll finish it there, guys. Gary O'Neill done wonders at Wolves. Yes, it has. Jerry's gone. A strong manager is needed, not a PR guy. Strong because of egos. Exactly. Yeah. Jude specifically. That's a very good point, actually. We need a manager that does not select injured players. If he loses, then if he loses, then they would say he never won. Look, I think there's going to be times to look over Southgate's career as England manager, the good, the bad, the ugly. But I do think you need a manager in before the 7th of September. And I'm sure the FA have known about this for months and they've got a plan in place. I'm sure they have.
I think if a manager isn't appointed by the 7th of September, what's his face? Somebody said his name earlier. Carsley. I think Carsley will step up and do the interim role.
Yeah, just for a couple of games.
For a couple of games. And that might be his audition. You know, if we haven't appointed anybody, that could be his audition. And if we're playing nice, free-flowing, attacking football, suck on you dummy again. If we're playing nice, attractive football and actually winning games, then, you know, maybe it's a shout giving him the position.
Former Ireland player managing England.
That won't appease the England fans, though, Con, when they want a name. They want
a big name. They want a Pep or a Klopp or, you know, a Carlo Ancelotti or somebody like that.
Well, I thought Pep was a ridiculous thing I was hearing, but if he really said something about actually desiring that, because I never thought he would ever desire it, then maybe it's not as crazy as it feels like it is in my mind.
Neil's just said pick up Busby.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if it were a passing comment as like a joke or something like that. But he has turned around and said in the past, you know, he's won everything in the leagues that he can possibly do. So the next biggest challenge would be taking England to a World Cup. So
surely he'd want to manage Spain, though, right? I mean,
yeah, he
I
probably
agree.
would, but
Yeah.
I think it were a slight little dig at the England team, to be fair. But yeah, you can twist his words to fit however you want, I suppose.
We've got Roy Keane for DJ Samuel. Piss off. No way.
I'll take Roy Keane. The Roy Keane's press conference would be gold. I would be all up for seeing.
You want to watch the Roy Keane press conference when he was Ireland assistant manager?
That was great. I love Roy Keane.
Do you know who they should go for?
Who?
They should go for Ange Postecoglou.
Okay.
He could do the double. He could do the.
Get rid of him for a while.
He could manage both Spurs in England, same colour kit and everything. That's what Keegan did.
Can I just say something now? Right? Any Irish person is not going to take that job. Lee Carsley is another traitor, a bit like Egg Fried and the other weird-looking Lachico that plays for Man City. All traitors, the lot of them. So Roy Keane and Robbie Keane have a bit of sense about them. So they want with them. Gary says, give it to Jose. Well, he's at Fenerbahce now, so he's not going to.
Too late on that one.
Have you done? Have you done saying out about your traitors, or are you going to continue?
Yeah, I have. No, Klopp and Pep never happening. People who say that are living in the birds of, well, Chris has his say. Roy Hodgson, there's a man that can take the job again.
No. I honestly, I wouldn't actually put it past England promoting with him at all.
I do know I can see it happening. Neil said that's just getting to pool A. Yeah, the Nations League. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of interest. Harry Kane may want to get into management.
Dragon's not just saying Harry Redknapp.
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche.
Dig up Brian Clough. Who knows who's going to take over the England?
We've got Tarkovsky back.
Yeah. God knows who England going to go for next manager, but do I really care?
Somebody Irish.
No. Do I really
somebody
care?
Irish.
No. Not
what
on
if
your
what if we got Stephen Kenny? And how much would you laugh, Demo, if we appointed Stephen Kenny?
Stephen Kenny, you can have him. He's a great manager. He plays attractive football. I think he's a great manager, and I think he'd do your country a great credit.
Demo's just upset because Irish people seem to jump ship to go and actually enter tournaments and, not stay at home during the tournament breaks.
Southgate's available for you now, Demo.
Where is the Euros? Excuse me. Where's the Euros in 4 years' time?
Yeah, and that is the only reason why you're actually getting into it. Let's be honest.
We might even not have to qualify for it, so I wouldn't even start that argument.
I might say Declan Rice, you say his name. Say his name, Demo. He's fine. He's a good player. He's a good player.
He's an idiot. He's a
Jack Grealish. Maybe we'll sign Jack Grealish. It's not
the playboy. You're talking about the playboy.
If we sign Jack Grealish, would you back him at Spurs? If he scored a goal, would you celebrate for Spurs? If he scored a goal for Spurs, would you celebrate?
If he puts on the Tottenham shirt,
he was a traitor.
I'd still call him a traitor.
Even though he was a Spurs, even though he scored a goal for Spurs. Yeah. What if he scored the goal for Spurs and won us a trophy? Would you still call him a traitor?
Still call him a playboy.
Wow.
I forgot they were in the banners. No. Let's be honest. You might Boris might even get automatic qualification if Scotland and Wales don't get in.
Wow,
it'd be great.
See, I like that, mate.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, Colin. Thank you for coming on. It's always a giggle when you come on. Where can people find you, sir?
You can find me over on the Full Time Sports Network. Let me stick my teeth back in. Hold on. Full Time Sports Network. You can find me on MUFC Spotlight as well, which is my Man United channel if you want. You can find me here as well because I am a part of this channel, even though I just come in and wind people up. That's my job. And you can find me on Double Dum Gaming as well. And the last thing I want to say is thank you to these guys. They're putting so much hard work to bring out the shows to you guys. And if you have got a little bit of spare money, please do sign up to their Patreon because it helps them get new graphics and new intros and new equipment and everything. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Colin. It's very kind of you. and to the fruit next to me. God knows what is going to come on next. You become a bit of a gimmick of the channel. You do realise that.
No, I know. There is only so many of these, so I'm gonna have to see what I'm.
We're going to have to get you sorted out on OBS. You can sit in my studio like me and sit as Samba in the studio, or Rick Loon.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
It would be pretty cool. Where can people find you, sir?
Obviously, you find me on the THFC Till I Die with you wonderful guys, and I've got my own little gaming channel called The Play Pouch, where we just discuss the video game industry. And this week it was about the horrible Microsoft putting the prices of Game Pass. In case nobody knows, they put the prices up. So boo Microsoft. There we are. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks again for having me, Dermo.
No problem. Well, watch out. 10 o'clock tonight. Tequila's new Transfer Tippet show is coming out. I don't know where it's going at. I think it is going out on this channel. Is it Tequila's going out this one, or the European Football Network channel, or is it going? It's going out on the Full Time Sports Network. I know that. I think it's going out on all three channels.
All three channels, I think. Well, at least to start with, and then we'll have to.
Yeah, then we'll start with. But it is going out on probably this channel and the Full Time Sports Network channel tonight. Transfer Tippets, where we'll go. Tequila goes over the whole Premier League. Maybe Conor might join us for that if we do, because we're doing the pre-record straight after.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're back tomorrow at 6:30 for the build-up to Tottenham's first pre-season game away at Hearts, the home of the past great Dave Mackay. Tottenham and Hearts have that link because of Dave Mackay during the years. Angie's back. Spurs is back. Thank God. Come on, you Spurs.
Coys, guys, coys. Say it, Com. Coys. Say it, Com. Coys.
GGMU.
Coys.